today's video, I'm going to show you the best way to find winning dropshipping products in 2026. This is the exact strategy I used to do $500,000 in the last couple months. As you can see here, taking home right around $130,000 in pure profit. This is after Shopify fees, ad costs, and then that averaging out to be right around 25% profit margin. I did this all without having to rip videos from Calidata. I didn't have to scroll for hours on a TikTok or Instagram burner account. And more importantly, I didn't have to steal any of my competitors' ads to make this work. My goal is to show you exactly how to find evergreen problem-solving dropshipping products that 80% of dropshippers would never think to sell. Products that make it super easy to scale with little to no competition. I actually use this strategy to scale a completely new store and go from 0 to 1K a day. I actually document the entire journey, including the product, the ads, the strategy, how I found my competitor, and I documented and uploaded inside my school community. If you hop in here, you can see this 0 to 1K a day case study. It was actually a really cool video, and I was able to do this because there was little to no competition for this product. It's the same strategy that Emil used to go from 0 to 7K in profit in just a few days, finding 2 winning products and being able to scale them in a completely different country. Nick also used this exact strategy to scale to 3K a day in revenue, taking home about $1,200 in profit per day. Nahom used this exact strategy to go from losing about $5,000 Canadian across 6 months to finally being able to scale to 1K a day on 33% profit margins. Zach's able to find a completely new product and test it on a new store and scale it up to $1,600 a day in revenue, taking home right under $1,000 in net profit as well. And then this store here, in the last 7 days, as you can see, we took home right around 10K in profit. And today, right now, we're sitting around $900 in profit. It's only about 11 a.m. in the morning. So we're doing pretty good here. Brand new store and taking home some pretty good profit as well. And we're able to take home so much profit because there's such little competition. So if you're tired of high CPMs, thinking you found a winning product only for ad performance to dip 1 week later, relying on ripping your competitors' ads to scale, and feeling like every good product is just taken, and you finally want to learn how to build a long-term sustainable dropshipping business with high profit margins and is easy to scale because you have little to no competition, just give me a few minutes of your time today, and I promise I'll open your eyes to an unfair product research strategy that not even the top gurus in the space use, which is actually surprising to me. And I'll even give you a free gift as well if you stay with me throughout the video. That will make product research really easy for you as well. So in just a moment, I'm going to go in and actually find a winning product with you guys. And as a free gift, I'll just give you guys the product and you can test it yourself. But before we jump into that, it's very important to understand what the problem actually is. Everyone tells you to find a problem-solving product in the dropshipping space. And ultimately speaking, it makes sense. As a dropshipper, we want to sell products that solve a deep enough pain because it will allow us to easily scale. Kind of goes without saying. The issue, though, is dropshipping and e-com as a whole has been around for so long, and we've reached a point where most of the biggest problem/pain point markets are super competitive. I'm actually going to show you guys a list of products you probably should stay away from. So now the question becomes, how can we still find problem-solving products and niches that still have enough volume and demand but aren't in the most competitive niches? What are those competitive niches, you might ask? My first free gift to you is this document that you can get access down below. These are the niches that in my last year of dropshipping, I find to be the most competitive and hardest to scale. Especially as a beginner, you're going to naturally face high CPMs, which, by the way, CPMs is the metric that determines how expensive is it going to be to advertise on the platform. And certain niches just yield higher CPMs. I find that the pet niche is really competitive. Hair, this includes anything with hair loss, hair growth, hair dye, hair culling. Anti-aging of any sorts. This is any type of skincare improvement, whether it's a pill, capsule, serum, gummy, anything that markets to the audience of people, specifically women, about anti-aging. This goes for the same as cosmetics and makeup, right? Lip, eyelash, eye bags, hair extensions, anything that talks about improving your overall look. Shapewear, so this is Colombian fajas, tights, anything that kind of morphs the woman's body to make them look more appealing. Therapeutic solutions, this is foot soles, foot cushions, seat cushions. This also goes and expands all the way out to different armrests and different types of chairs and different types of aids that help older people be more comfortable and deal with less pain. Anything EMS and red light therapy. EMS makeup, skincare stuff, EMS eyes, nose, devices in general that are designed to help repair any damage or make your skin look better through EMS and red light therapy. Any typical pain relief device. This is joint, back, knee, elbow, arm, foot, shoulder, right? I'm sure we've all seen the shoulder massagers, the cupping devices, the knee and the foot massagers. This includes anything that's also warm, right? Like use heated devices to deal with inflammation and pain. Any type of sleep aids. This is again pills, supplements, gummies, pillows, blankets, anything that's designed to help with anti-snoring, sleep apnea, anything to make you feel more comfortable at night, right? Supplements of all kinds. This is again gummies, liquids, pills, chewables, anything that is going after people in the supplement space, targeting things like weight loss, energy, focus, sleep, bloating, lymphatic drainage, toenails, detoxing. This is teas, anything with gut health, anything with when it comes to people that have severe pains and inflammation. Weight loss devices. So this is treadmills, jump ropes, Pilates, anything that's designed to go after people to say, hey, get in shape while working from home. Teeth whitening of all kinds, brightening your smile, bad breath, coffee stains, rebuilding enamel. Women personal care, so anything with body odor, menopause, postpartum. Anything with sex life, intimacies, these are oils, sprays, drinks, anything that's devices or tools that are designed to help build intimacy. Women's clothing as well. So this is bras, underwears, stockings, socks, shoes, toys as well that are not really educational, problem solving. Now, it goes without saying, there are really, really popular niches for a reason. People make money in these niches all the time. People scale in these niches all the time. I know the first question you're going to ask, well, Alex, first off, can I even find any products out there if it's not within any of those niches? The answer is yes. But also, you might have a buddy or two that have built and scaled brands in these niches. You might know some people on social media that documented their journey and shared that they scaled in some of these niches. I'm not saying you cannot make money in these niches. It's the opposite. A lot of money is able to be made in these niches. The problem, though, is that the work, the energy, and the money required to penetrate these niches is significant, right? There's a lot of factors. First off, you need a lot of money. You got to realize that people in these niches are spending $10, $20, $30,000 a day on ads and doing a lot of creative testing with a lot of creative volume. But let's say that's not even so much of a problem. You also have to factor in that you have a newer pixel on a newer ad account. Facebook doesn't typically treat newer ad accounts and newer advertisers with the best CPMs. So you're already at that disadvantage. So I can list off all the issues that go on with starting off with these niches, especially if you're a beginner. And I want you to understand, if you're an experienced dropshipper with money and capital, feel free to tackle with these niches. There's a ton of money that can be made. I made money in the teeth whitening space. I know a lot of people that make money in these spaces, but I'm assuming you clicked on this video because you've already tried over and over and over again, and you're facing the same exact problems. So the whole premise of this video is to help you cut through the noise, avoid what every other guru is saying because it's clearly not working, and open your eyes to something that you probably haven't really tried before that could be the difference in you finally getting a brand to scale and stay profitable. My second gift to you, if you go in the description here, will be this exact product validation sheet. Now, this is something I normally gatekeep for my online community members, but I feel generous today, and I'm going to share with you the exact validation checklist that I use. And then I'm also going to show you the tool that I like to use to make this process really, really easy. So let's first break down this and show you how it works. On the first tab here on the sheet is the criteria and also the niches to stay away from. And then normally for my students, what they'll do is they'll put the products on the sheet, and I review every single one of the products on all my community member sheets. That way I can help them pick a product as soon as possible. Now, with that being said, you're going to do this on your own. If you don't want to join the community, that's fine. So I want to give you all the tools and resources you can use to make this work as well for you as possible. First thing I like to look for, the product solves a problem. So despite what you might think, there's still a ton of other problems out there that don't fall within these niches. Again, there are some nuances and caveats. You can actually find some really good sub niches under these bigger niches that are not as competitive. But the general rule of thumb is that if you're anywhere within these niches, it's just naturally going to be more competitive and harder to advertise. So we still want to solve a problem though, and ideally for a group of people 35 and up. Another thing I like to look for is that the advertiser itself has been launching ads between 10 to 60 days. So what I personally do to validate that I can scale a product in a store is leverage the Facebook ad library. pretty much everything on this criteria will require us to have a competitor's ad library account to verify that there's enough room in the market for us to sell, and there's also enough demand in the market for us to be able to make money as well. I don't just go on Aliexpress and look for random products that I think could do well and try to create ads behind that, because now I'm just trying to take an unnecessary risk. I have no idea if there's any proof of concept. I have no idea if people even want this product. I'm just trying to look and see, this looks cool. Maybe people on Facebook would like it. And that, my friends, is called gambling, unnecessary gambling at that. So we primarily use the ad library, Facebook's most important tool, to help us determine, hey, is there enough room in the market and can I make money doing this? So the number two thing here is that we're going to look in the ad library and try to determine and find an advertiser that has launched their ads between a 10 to 60 day window. A minimum of 10 days, because we want to make sure that the advertiser is actually making money. It's a very low chance that someone's running ads for 10 days and is not profitable. But we also want to be within a 60-day window, because we don't want it to be, hey, this guy's been running ads for a year. Facebook's just going to allocate all the quality customers to them, because Facebook rewards advertisers that have been on the platform the longest and spend the most money. So that 10 to 60-day window, we find an advertiser that has ads within that window, greatly increases our chances of being successful. It's not a given and it's not guaranteed, but it gives us the best chance and opportunity. We also obviously want to make sure the product doesn't fall within the high competitive market niche. If you're wondering what is that, it's these niches here that I've been talking about for the last 10 minutes. Next thing here is the advertiser is launching new ads every few days. So this is important. I'll show you guys. In the ad library, we want to see that the advertiser every few days are launching new ads. That is normally a good sign of a good marketer. We know nowadays with Facebook, they want to see a lot of creative testing and creative volume. So a good advertiser that's doing well and scaling a product or a store, there's a good chance that they see that things are going well for them and they're going to keep adding new ads in. That's just logic, right? So we want to see that as a good indication. And we don't want to see that the person hasn't launched any new ads in 2-3 weeks. That probably means that they're not making as much money. Another big thing here is the advertiser is primarily scaling with video ads. I personally use native image ads. That's my go-to advertising media, I guess. I have tons of trainings on that, so feel free to check out the rest of my videos. But I actually don't even waste time creating video ads. I create native image ads with long-form copy instead. So because of that, to have as little competition as possible, I want to see that the advertiser is primarily scaling with video ads, so that way I can take the brand and the product and the niche itself and show it to a different subsection of people that engage with natives better than video ads. That way I don't have to worry about competing directly one-to-one with that same advertiser. Another thing as well is I want to see that the advertiser has a minimum of 30 active ads. 30 active ads is enough for us to know that there's enough volume and enough testing within the market of their ad library for us to determine, okay, they have some proof of concept here. They probably at this stage know what's working for them and it's a validated product. Number 7, the advertiser doesn't have more than 75% of their ads turned off. If you see someone with 150 or 200 total ads and only 30 or 40 of them are active or even less, that's a cause of concern, because they're testing, or they were testing. They probably turned off a ton of ads. Maybe they're not scaling as effortlessly. That's another thing about this, right? I want to find somebody that found a winning product, and good winning products are easy to scale, right? Within the first few days, you're able to see profitability. I don't want to have to try to find a product where I have to work tooth and nail to try to make it profitable, right? Obviously, creating good ads is going to be your responsibility, but still, I want to have a product that has just a surface level amount of demand, meaning it's pretty self-explanatory and people just see the product and want to buy it. It doesn't require too much testing and too much convincing to get them to buy. Another thing as well is the advertiser is scaling a one product store. So as you may know, not everyone that runs e-com ads on Facebook is a dropshipper. There are people that have full blown catalogs and brands. We're trying to find other dropshippers, and the best indicating factor of that is to know that they have a one product store. Advertisers using a standard Shopify landing page, right? A standard product page. They shouldn't be having some crazy funnel or multi-step process. We want to just see people scaling one product stores straight to a product page. And then the advertiser is also selling a product with a minimum AOV of around $35. So it goes without saying, especially with new ad accounts, there's a floor where Facebook basically can't go below that when we talk about cost per acquisition. So naturally speaking, you probably can't get below a $15 to $20 cost per acquisition, no matter what you're selling on Facebook. That's kind of like the baseline floor for newer ad accounts. Obviously, once you scale and you run certain campaigns, you can potentially get below that. But I find like $15 to $20, that's normally the typical cost per acquisition, regardless of what you're selling. So it only makes sense that you have enough room for margin and sell something that has $35 of AOV or greater. That way, obviously, when you subtract the advertising costs and your cost of goods, you're still left with some profit, of course. Now, in a perfect world, you'll be able to find products that hit 10 out of 10, but just from doing this and having 300 different students that I review their products pretty much every day, I'm telling you right now, you're very rarely going to get a 10 out of 10, and that's fine. Now, if you can find a 10 out of 10, your chances of knocking that out the park is significant. The product I went from 0 to 1K a day with, it was a 10 out of 10. It fit everything on this sheet perfectly. But you're not always going to find that. And that doesn't mean if you don't find a product that hits this 10 out of 10, you're not going to make any money. So I have a exception to the rule list here at the bottom. You are allowed to make 2 exceptions on this list. If you get to a 3rd exception, that means that I personally would disqualify it. Now, you watching this video, at the end of the day, do whatever you want, but that's just my personal advice. If you find a product and it fits everything here, let's say it does like, you do this, fits pretty much everything besides maybe this, or actually, no, that's pretty important. We don't want to skip out on that. Maybe this and maybe this, then you're fine. But if it's like, oh, so not only aren't just only scaling with video ads, and they're also have more than 75% of ads turned off, but they also didn't launch within 10 to 60 days. Once you get to the 3rd exception, then now you're taking too much risk, and now it's too far out the criteria list. But you're only allowed to make 2 exceptions. If you make 2 exceptions, then it's fine, as long as it's still within a non-competitive niche, still solves a deep enough problem, and the person launched ads relatively recently, in about 10 to 60 days. And also the AOV should be about $35 or greater. All right, so now with that being said, I think I set the scene really well. Let's actually go find a winning product that fits the criteria so you can see what that looks like. Money loves speed. There's a fast way and a slow way to do this. The slow way is to just go in the Facebook ad library, type in a couple different keywords, scroll through until you find a product that fits the criteria. There's also a faster way to do this, and my favorite way to find products these days is using TrendTrack. It's an all-in-one tool for finding the best winning products on Facebook, and they're expanding out to TikTok as well pretty soon, which is really cool. Now, if you're someone that doesn't want to sign up for the tool of TrendTrack, they do have a ton of other great tools, and I'm going to show you some of them today, like the free Chrome extension that we're going to use to analyze products and also be able to copy some stuff from our competitor's website, which is really cool. But I highly recommend, if you want to save some money using the same tool I use and all my students inside the school community, I'll have a 20% discount code linked in the description. It'll save you 20% every single month with TrendTrack. There's a very specific reason why I like this tool. You might be saying to yourself, well, Alex, do I need TrendTrack? I have other, product research tools, and I totally understand that. But there's a reason why I use this specifically, and I'm going to give you the exact filters that I like to use. I'm also going to give you some options. That way you can adjust what you see, so you're not seeing the same products that everyone else is seeing in this same video. But I want to just quickly highlight this. TrendTrack allows you to optimize and see ads based off the Shopify themes. There's, as you can see here, a ton of other amazing filters, but by far, one of the most important ones here to this process is the Shopify theme filter. As you may or may not know, most dropshippers use the same theme, which is Shrine Pro. And what's become also really popular is also Elixir theme as well. So this feature and functionality alone is just very powerful because, like I mentioned, not everyone that does e-com and is running Facebook ads is a dropshipper. We want to find dropshippers because if they're an everyday person like you and me and they were able to take a basic product and scale it, that means we can too. So this has significantly cut down the time it takes for me to find winning products because of just this filter alone. Now I'm going to show you all the other amazing filters as well in the platform as a whole. And I know it could feel like, do I really want to sign up and get it? I'm telling you right now, the difference between the people making money and not making money, and I know pretty much everybody that's doing really well in the dropshipping space, they have these unique products that most of us would never be able to find. And I'm telling you, it will shorten and simplify the process. So let me give you guys my rough kind of just filter that I like to use for TrendTrack. And to get access to this, again, sign up with the link in the description, save 20% off. And you'll see here that there's this tab here that says ads. I have a ton of other great features about TrendTrack that I like, but this is where I spend 90% of my time is the ads tab. And the reason for this is because we have a ton of control under this section. If we go here, the first thing I like to do is optimize for active ads. When it comes to ad creation date, this is one of those things you can mess around with, but I don't really mess around with that. Last seen date, I also don't really care because if the ads are active, then they'll still be rolling. Days running. How long has that ad been active for? I like to see that, like I mentioned, that 10 to 60 day window. Now, not every single ad in the advertiser's ad library will be 10 to 60 days. We're just going to see the ones that are within that window, and then we'll be able to use process of elimination to optimize from there. TrendTrack just recently expanded their niche selection, so you can get really granular with the niches you want to see, but I'm actually not even going to touch that and adjust that. And the reason for that is because I find that not every single store and ad gets properly attributed to the right niche. So just to maximize my window of seeing all the products available to me, I don't really like to touch or alter that too much. Now, the next thing is important as well is video ads. Like I mentioned on the checklist, I'm trying to find advertisers that are scaling with video ads, because if they scale with video ads and I just create native image ads going after this relatively the same audience and people, I'll have less competition because not everyone conceives and engages with media the same way on Facebook. Some people, if you think about your algorithm in your feed, some people spend a lot of time scrolling through video ads, or just videos in general, not even ads, but just videos in general. Other people really engage with pictures. Maybe you don't, but there's still a massive group of people on Facebook that really spend most of their time just engaging with photos. So they could be the same type of person wanting the same solution to the same problem, but because the way they consume media is different, they'll see different types of ads. So while my competitors scale with video ads and attracting people that engage with video content in general, we'll be trying to attract the people that have the same problem and want the same desire, but primarily engage with photos, right? That's my native image ad strategy. We're not going to really cover that too much today. There's separate trainings on that, but that's just a little food for thought for you there. So another thing as well, you can alter and mess around with the CTAs. So shop now, buy now. These are normally the typical drop shipping CTAs. Another little secret for you guys, a lot of drop shippers are switching over to order now because a lot of people are funnel hacking and using the keyword shop now. So they're changing the CTA so other advertisers can't find them or other dropshippers can't find them. This is where you can also have a lot of flexibility. Which country is getting most of the traffic to the competitor's website? So in most cases, I like to start with the US and then optimize from there. But I know if there's someone scaling in the US and I replicate them, I can also find success in that same market and then also transition that to other countries like the UK, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, if need be. I like to see ads in English because that's the language I speak and understand. Technology. So this has been expanded here, which is really cool. I primarily just stay with Shopify and then go from there. And then this is also a new feature, ad copy length. For those of you trying to find people that are running long native image ad copy, you can actually change and optimize for ad copy length, which is really cool. But it doesn't stop there. We're going to go over here and we're going to see how many live ads that they have active. Again, I'm trying to see someone that has already proven to me that they're scaling and making money. A good sign of someone scaling and making money is the amount of active ads that they have. We don't want them to have too many. So realistically, around 250 max is where I like to kind of sit and hover. Partnerships, we don't want to mess with that. Page creation detail, if you really wanted to, you can try to find people that recently created their page and are scaling in real time. I'm going to kind of keep that blank for now. And then pixel as well, you can optimize for people that have the Facebook pixel and maybe no other pixels, because we know if they don't have any other pixels and only the Facebook pixel, they're only scaling on Facebook and not getting traffic from other platforms. This also is like, where did the advertiser created their shop from? What country? Not going to mess with that. And then apps as well. So for now, I like to keep the filter kind of broad like this. You can, if you see a brand and a product that you look at it and you're like, I don't want to see this on my feed anymore, you can actually just click here and hit hide page. Personally, I've seen this product on my students' product sheet a lot. So I know it's kind of competitive now. So I'm just going to ignore that. And then, of course, you can also change the view if you want to see the videos populate a little bit bigger, or if you want to see them kind of with the copy and everything, you can adjust it from there. From this point on, guys, what I would do is throw on some music and literally just scroll and scroll until I find a product that doesn't appear to be in those competitive niches and also fits the criteria. All right, so as I'm scrolling here for a little bit, right, we'll come across a product or a brand like this, right? I'm just kind of scrolling through, looking at the thumbnails, and I already know this brand, so I want to show you guys and teach you something. So what you can do in Trend Track is you have a couple options. The first thing you can do is just open up the actual ad itself. Then you can hit this button here that says open in Facebook, and you can kind of scroll through and see. Now, I have the free Trend Track Chrome extension. Like I mentioned, you don't actually need Trend Track to get this Chrome extension. If I wanted to, I can download their ads. I can look up some more information about them. I also can, if you're, someone that scrolls to Facebook ad library, I can easily see their page by hitting view page if I was just organically scrolling through their stuff. But the first thing I would want to do is go here and see how many total ads they have here. So they have 220 total active ads. That's a decent amount. But the thing that's really important is I want to see how many of those ads are turned off. So if I remove the filter here, we'll see that they have 220 out of 490. So automatically, if you remember the sheet here, I like to see that the advertiser doesn't have more than 75% of their ads turned off. Again, the reason for that is because I'm trying to find advertisers that are able to easily scale with little friction. And someone that's easy to scale probably don't, they won't be turning off a ton of their ads. So back to this here. They're already pretty much disqualified in my opinion, because they also at 490 ads, I can pretty much guess without having to waste my time. I know that they've been running ads for longer than 60 days. Actually, we can see that here. And what I'll do is I'll sort by most recent, and we can scroll all the way to the bottom of their ad library, and we'll see that they launched more than 60 days ago. They have more than 70% of their ads turned off. And here's the biggest reason why this product is disqualified. They are a supplement. Right. So this is a typical brand that has been ripping a TikTok shop supplement. So there's already 3 things already on this list that automatically disqualify it for me. Just if you were to replicate this, I'm telling you right now, CPMs would be really, really high, because so many of the people being advertised this product see so many different ads selling the same type of stuff. So this is a disqualified product automatically. Now, I want to very, very, very important to clarify here. Just because we're disqualifying it doesn't mean that they're not making money. They're probably making great money. They entered the market. They were able to scale at high volume, ripping Cali data videos. Good for them. But the likelihood of replicating this for yourself is very low. So I want to help you find products and scale with little to no competition. That's always the end goal here. So it's not to say that they're not making money. It's just to say that it'd be really hard for you to do the same, right? So that's just something to be very clear on. Now, for those of you doing native image ads, something else to be very mindful of is that this person here in their ad library, they're probably scaling with video ads, right? We can pretty much see. Something to be careful, though, is finding people that are already running advertorials. So if you go here, you can see that this person is running an advertorial. Now, this product, once again, is a good product. It is a problem-solving product for an older demographic of people. There's multiple angles. It's a high AOV product. The website looks good. They're adding a ton of new ads. Here's one of the issues, right? You can definitely give it a test and give it a try, but the biggest thing to be mindful of, it falls under the high competitive niches again, right? So this is anything with sleep. It actually falls under 2 things, right? So cosmetics / anti-aging, but then also sleep aids, right? So you might think, okay, Alex, it fits everything else, but it's still a high competitive product. Should I test it? Of course, it's up to you if you want to give it a test, but just be mindful that if you're limited on a budget, you don't have thousands of dollars to test and blow through budget, I can assure you that you're going to initially face some high CPMs. It's on you to determine your tolerance and how long you can go while losing money before you finally turn a profit. So that's just something to be mindful of. My product research strategy, students a lot of times can normally see profits within the first 3 to 5 days, right? So that's the biggest thing that I want to emphasize. So if you're someone that has high, where you normally see high CPMs and you want to try the strategy, know that if you still avoid the most important criteria, which is the niche selection itself, you're still going to run into high CPMs. So after scrolling for a little bit here, I came across something that looked really interesting. So let's actually analyze this together. So we'll pull this up here. We'll open up in Facebook. It seemed like something for drinks and people that like drinking. So the first thing, as always, that I want to do is check how many total ads they have. So 120 is a lot. That's good. But how many do they have turned off? Let's remove the filter here. And they have 120 out of 120. So off to a good start. They do not have a ton of ads turned off. They actually have no ads turned off. So we're going to sort here by most recent. And we want to first see when did they launch ads. We scroll all the way down to the bottom. And we'll see here that, ooh, they might have, ooh, okay. So they only launched ads December 31st, and today is January 23rd. So it's been within 60 days. It's been longer than 10 days, and then within 60 days. So automatically that's good. Now, what's the product, you might ask? If we open it up, we can see that, it's also a $59.99 product. So actually, let's go back to the checklist here. So we can see, let's go through this all at once and see what we can get here. So the first thing is product solves a problem for an age group of 35 plus. Well, let's see what it is. It's an Ember automatic whiskey smoker. So real quick, as you can see here, I cannot actually highlight anything or do anything. Little fun fact for you here with the trend track extension here, you can actually turn this on, which now removes protection on someone's website. So if I wanted to just copy all their stuff, I can. I can even download the exact images from their website here, which is a little fun fact for you. But back to the checklist here. So product solves a problem for an age group of 35 plus. Well, this is an automatic whiskey smoker kit. So for people that enjoy whiskey, it allows them to put together and make some at-home whiskey. So this solves a problem, right? People that love drinking alcohol, specifically whiskey, but probably, some ideas that come to mind right away, probably don't want to always go out and spend money. Probably are tired of the whiskey that they're getting at their local bars. Maybe it's not as good. So automatically, boom. And I personally know some people that really enjoy whiskey. There's a massive market for alcohol, whiskey, people that enjoy whiskey. So that's good. Next thing, advertiser launched ads 10 to 60 days ago. As we already checked here, that fits the criteria. Boom. The product doesn't fall within the competitive niches. It doesn't. It's not on none of these. So that's good. The advertiser is launching new ads every few days. So let's see. They first started on December 31st. Then they went on to add ads the next day on January 1st. And then they added some new ads on January 3rd. And then they added some new ads on the 5th, the 4th, the 7th, the 8th, right? You could just see here, days start running. I'll zoom in for you guys so you can see here. Days started running on the 8th here, on the 8th. So then they launched them on the 10th, on the 11th. On the 11th, that's good. On the 14th, that's good. On the 13th, that's good. 16th, 15th, that's good. 15th, 15th. 16th. So they're launching new ads every single few days, right? Not every day. It doesn't have to be every day, but just every couple of days. We want to see that they're adding new ads and they have none of them turned off. That's a good sign. They're primarily scaling with video ads. So if we look here, right, like I'm pretty sure these are all just video ads. Now, had they had static images, which I might have seen at the start here. Yeah, so you can see here, hold on, like an image like this, right? This is not an, again, I run native image ads. You guys can do whatever you want, but I like running native image ads. That's personally what helped me scale to $500,000 in the last couple of months. But something to be mindful of is just like in general, not having competition with people. So they're running static images, but this is not a native image. So that's fine. As long as a video ads or a static and not a native image, then I'm good, right? Because that means, again, they're not really speaking directly to the same type of people. And primarily, these are all videos anyway. There's only a few statics, so that's fine. So that's also, boom. The advertiser has a minimum of 30 active ads. As we can see here, they have a total of 120. So that's good. Boom. Advertiser doesn't have more than 75% of their ads turned off. They have none of their ads turned off. That's even better. Advertisers scaling a one product store. So as you can see here, they don't have anything else. Now they have some upsells and stuff like that. That's fine. That's not a problem. I'm referring to brands that have a catalog page where it's like 5 or so different products that are completely independent and have no correlation to one another. This person has one main product. All the ads are geared towards this one store. They don't have some ads to another store or another product on their store and some to this. No, all their ads are going to this exact product, and they have some upsells here, which is cool. They have a dope offer, so I know that they're making good money. That's good. Advertiser is a standard Shopify landing page. So what you can do here, if you're not sure, is you can just go here and you can see here that it says the Shopify page. So we have the exact domain name. And then we know that they're using Shrine Pro here. So that's a Shopify theme. And then also in the ad library too, with the extension, you can see that there's the Shopify logo next to their account. So that means we know that they're using Shopify. As you can see here, Trend Track makes it really easy for all this stuff. And then the advertiser is selling a product with a minimum AOV of $35. As we already can tell here, The lowest thing that you can leave on this store with is a $59 whiskey smoker. So there's nothing here that's lower than, the $35 AOV. Perfect. So just like that, guys, you have a competitor in the market that is selling a high demand product, which is something to make really good whiskey drinks. So it goes without saying, obviously, you guys watching this free YouTube video all now are probably going to use the same filter. So some of you might be wondering, well, Alex, now I'll be seeing the same exact products as everybody else. I took this in account and I want to show you guys some things you can do. First off, I want to acknowledge, if you really sit here and scroll, it'll be a while before you see every single product, by the way, guys. So I just want to acknowledge that. The filters are broad. Like, it's very, very, very broad. So you can see here that I can scroll and scroll and scroll and scroll and scroll, and I probably won't get to the end of this page for a while. So that's the first thing I want to acknowledge. Like, if I were you and you were really worried about that, just go scroll for a little bit and then you'll start from here. But with that being said, a couple things as well. I have this filter here that says relevance. Something you can do is adjust this, right? You can go to newest. And if you're just in here every single day, you'll be able to see the newer products and newer brands that fit this criteria. But even then, I'm aware you guys are probably all going to, after a while, see the same products. So I want to give you a couple pieces of advice and also show you something else about Trend Track that you can leverage to make this really, really simple for you. So obviously, if you use this exact filter, you're going to get a ton of great products, but there's a couple things you can adjust. The first thing that I would adjust is country. So I primarily looked for advertisers scaling in the US, but you can turn this off and then select some other countries, maybe Canada, New Zealand, Australia, UK. This is literally going to like 4x the portfolio of ads that you may or may not see. Okay, so that's something to be mindful of. And for those of you watching this video and you live in smaller countries, try to look and see what advertisers in your local country are scaling, right? And fit the same criteria, right? The criteria applies no matter what country you live in. So that's one of the first things you can do. Another thing you can do is just uncheck this filter here for Shopify themes. Not every single dropshipper is using the Shrine Pro or Elixir theme. There are other dropshippers that use other themes that aren't properly being calculated, or maybe they're using just a different theme here. So you can adjust the theme. Obviously, the most popular theme, as we can see here, is Dawn. So you can look and find people here, and they don't necessarily have to be a dropshipper that you want to replicate. I just find that dropshippers, it's much easier to replicate them because they're doing the same things that we would do, but you don't have to use the Shrine Pro or Elixir theme filter. You can just adjust it to Dawn. In some cases, I actually just turn off no filters and I just kind of scroll through myself manually as well. Now, obviously, by doing that, it's going to now make it really, really broad, and you're going to have to do some more filtering yourself. But this just allows you to give yourself the best opportunity to not find the same products everyone else that's watching this video will find. Something else you can do is just mess around with the live video ads. I recommend that you do a minimum of 30, but you can do as much as 900, right? Again, as long as they don't have 75% of those ads turned off, then you're good. And as long as they recently launched within a 10 to 60 day window. Now, in my time of doing this, I find it very hard to find someone that has been within 10 to 60 days and has more than 400 active ads. At that point, they've probably been running ads for more than 60 days. But that's just something else you can play with. You can also adjust some filters and rules. Like within the last week, they've added they've increased their ad spend by 30%. Right? Or maybe 20%, right? You can adjust that as well. These are some small details and nuances you can do. You can, of course, also go in and alter, or I guess filter rather, and look at specific niches at once, right? So I just had all the niches available to me and I was able to find a product really quickly, but you can also just go in and see, okay, what's a niche that Alex said I can, that isn't on the high competitive niche? Well, one thing that could solve a problem that I didn't see Alex mention was, let's scroll here and see, luxury goods could be one. Auto and vehicles could be one, right? Alex didn't say anything about vehicles, right? So maybe I could look through that market and see what could be done there. So hobbies and leisures, there's a lot of problems within the hobby niches, right? Think about pickleball. A lot of people that play pickleball might have certain problems that they want to have solved while playing the game. So that's another thing you can adjust. Obviously, the language is something you can adjust as well. The CTAs, as great as Trend Track is, sometimes it doesn't capture every single ad properly, and that's because people are always adding and changing and removing ads. So it takes about a day sometimes for it to fully populate stuff. So you can adjust this as well, and in a lot of cases, you can actually just remove this. All right. A lot of people that do advertorials, they always use the CTA learn more. So if you that's something you want to test and do as well, you can do that. Media type, if you do want to see images, people scaling with images, but maybe they're static images and not natives, that's something else you can do as well. And then, there's a lot of things you can play around with here, guys. Don't feel like you have to use the exact filters that I'm using. That's just the one that can help narrow things down a little bit for you, but mess around with them so that way you're not having to force yourself to try to not see the same ads as other people. You can just adjust the filters slightly and get a completely different portfolio of ads as well. If you're really struggling and you're like, man, I can't find anything and you might need some inspiration, you can go to the shops tab as well and you can see the top scaling brands and stores right now. And you could just kind of scroll through and see what kind of niches are scaling right now. And you can see the monthly visits, the amount of live ads that they have active. Right now, we're seeing this brand here, Herbox, really scale really heavily. Let's see their shop details. So something you could do is brand tracker. Any store that you find here or any brand you find here in Trend Track, you can add them to the brand tracker and you can kind of study and see what they're doing. Now, honestly, these are some mega stores. And as a everyday dropshipper like me, you probably don't want to see those same brands. So of course, as always, you can add some filters here. You can adjust the amount of the theme, for example, the plan, everything that you basically want to see for a store. So we could do something like 30 to 100, or we'll do 250 live ads, set that filter. We want to say that their traffic, and just so you guys are aware, it's very hard for any tool to track accurately someone's monthly website visits. But we can get a solid estimate, and we could just say anybody that has less than 100,000 monthly visitors, because we don't want to see the super mega big brands that are just absolutely scaling and there's no catching those guys. So we could do that. We could do it in English as well. And I like to just go through this and just get a feel for what people are scaling. And I have all the different countries selected as well. So you can see and kind of look through, see their product catalog, and you'll be surprised. I've come across some really interesting products that I would have never even thought to look at or see. There's this product here. What is this? Ooh, interesting. What is this product here? Trip Machine Company. Oh, okay. Yeah, this is where I would personally this could be really easy to go by and select the theme here. Let's do Shrine Pro. Let's do Shrine Pro, Shrine, regular Shrine, and Shrine Pro. Do Elixir theme and see what we can also do. Yeah, you can come across some really interesting products here, like this gadget here. And you can see here, the categories home and garden and lawn government, but this product here, which is some electric nunchucks, don't really align with that. And that's because people change their themes and their brands all the time. But you can see here that they're scaling really heavily here. They got a ton of monthly traffic. And this brand here, yeah, this is a protection nunchuck thing that shocks people. And they're drop shipping a couple different products too. Let's see if we can go to their actual product page. Yeah, so this is their product page itself. And this is their offer and what they're doing. So another product that has a good AOV, problem solving, and you can see it's a drop shipper drop shipping this. Very interesting. And they're scaling really heavily here too, which is really cool. So that's another way that you can kind of just go through and just find some really good products. And again, adjust the filters to really narrow down the search so you can find things that aren't in the super competitive niches that we always see. You now know how to find winning dropshipping products in uncompetitive niches. So I'm wishing the best for you guys and hopefully you can scale. If you enjoyed today's video, make sure you like and subscribe. If you want some additional help scaling and growing your dropshipping brand here in 2026, click the link down below and hop inside a Social Brands Club. We have tons of members doing amazing things. You'll personally get access to me and I'll help you find a winning product on that same winning product checklist and then show you the strategy I use to scale with the native image ads that don't require me to steal competitors' ads, spend time creating video ads all day long, and just kind of have little to no competition with high profit margins. Hop down inside a Social Brands Club and shoot me a message as soon as you join. I'd love to help you scale in your journey. And also, if you want to save money with Trend Track, like I mentioned, I have a link down below in the description where you can save 20% off. That's going to add up over time. You definitely want to try to be as frugal as possible in the beginning stages of dropshipping. So to help you guys out, you can save 20%. Sign up, and if you sign up and you have any questions, you can always DM me on Instagram if you're not inside my school community with any questions you might have. I'd love to reach out and help you with the process as well. With that being said, I'll see you guys on the next one. Take care.